How to crochet the Misty morning dishcloth. Alrighty, so we are going to go ahead and get started with our dishcloth. Now, as always, I have all of the materials that I'm going to be using today and that you'll need linked down in the description box below, as well as the free and paid PDF versions of the pattern. So feel free to follow along with the written instructions as well as this tutorial. I'm going to be using WeCrochet Dishie today. This is the colorway Jade. So really pretty green. And I think it's going to pair well with the other two samples that I have already made of this pattern, which are right here. This one is Lilac Mist, really pretty lavender. And then this one is like the perfect dark gray. It's called Ash. So I think it's going to make a really pretty kind of, I don't know, like flower color palette themed maybe. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be cute. And then I am using a 4.5mm crochet hook. This is my Clover Moore one. Absolute favorite of all time. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to make a slip knot and place that on our hook and tighten it up. And then we are going to chain 2. So there's 1 and 2. Now for row 1, we are going to place a single crochet, a double crochet, and then another single crochet, all into that second chain from the hook. So we now have worked 3 stitches. So for row 1, we have a total of 3 stitches at the end. Now for row 2, we are going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to work a single crochet and a double crochet into that very first stitch, and that's going to act as our increase. This dishcloth is constructed corner to corner style, so we are going to basically make a triangle for increasing, and then we'll close it back down by decreasing. So there's our increase. Then we're going to work a single crochet in this next stitch, and then in this very last stitch already we're going to work a double crochet and a single crochet. Again, our increase. We want our edges to be nice and straight, and the way that we do that for this pattern is maintaining that increase on both sides. Alrighty, row 3 is going to start our repeat. We're going to work this same row for 17 total rows, or until your dishcloth is as small or large as you'd like it to be. And I'll talk more about that in just a minute. So I have chained 1 and turn. I'm going to work a single crochet and a double crochet into that very first stitch. Again, that's our increase. And then I'm going to work a single crochet in the next stitch and a double crochet in the next stitch. And I'm going to repeat that until I have 2 stitches remaining. Now, since I'm only on row 3 and I don't have many stitches, I already only have 2, but that number is going to very quickly increase. So we'll just repeat that until we have 2 stitches remaining. Now, into these last 2 stitches, we're going to work a single crochet, and then a double crochet and a single crochet in that last stitch, again for our increase. So I'm going to show you that a couple more times to kind of show how that repeat works across more stitches. So again, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We'll go single crochet and double crochet in that very first stitch, and then start our repeat. We're going to single crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, all until you have 2 stitches remaining, which I have them here right now. I'm going to work a single crochet in that next stitch, and then an increase, a double crochet and single crochet into that very last stitch. So one more time, chain 1 and turn, work a single crochet and double crochet in that first stitch, start our repeat, single crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, until we have 2 stitches remaining, just like before. And then once you're down to those final 2 stitches, we will work a double crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet in the next stitch, and then a double and single in that very last stitch. So that is our repeat row, or our increase row. We're going to repeat that until we have a total of 17 rows for if you're following the pattern as it is written, and if you want the same size that I have. However, if you'd like to make your dishcloth smaller, you could simply work less rows. If you'd like it to be larger, you can simply work more rows. And then it's super easy to adjust the decreased rows accordingly as well, based on the amount of rows that you work for your increase section. So I'm going to step off camera and work my total of 17 rows, and then I will come back here and show you how to work the decrease row. Alrighty, so I have finished my 17 increase rows. Now I just want to go ahead and mention that if your edges are looking a little bit like curved, or if the center is a little bit wrinkled, don't worry about it. Not only would that very easily come out with blocking or washing and drying the dishcloth, but we're also going to add a border around it, and that's going to help it lay nice and flat as well. Also, one thing to note, if you keep your single crochet stitches on the edges here loose, it's going to help with that a little bit as well. So let's go ahead and move on to our decrease section. So we're going to work the next row, and then we will repeat that same row until we have 5 stitches remaining. So we are going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to work a single crochet 2 together in these first 2 stitches. And then we're going to do our same repeat that we did before. We're going to double crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to work that all the way across until we have a total of 3 stitches remaining. Alrighty, so I have 3 stitches remaining. I'm going to work a double crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet 2 together into those last 2 stitches, just like that. And then I will just pull through all of those loops on the hook, and I have finished my first decrease row. Now, like I mentioned before, we're going to work that same exact row until we have 5 stitches remaining, regardless of how many increase rows you did. I'm going to show it to you one more time. So chain 1 and turn, work a single crochet 2 together in the first 2 stitches, work a double crochet in the next stitch, a single crochet in the stitch after that, and work that same repeat all the way across until you have 3 stitches remaining. Okay, I have 3 stitches remaining. I'm going to place a double crochet in the next stitch, and then single crochet those last 2 stitches together. Now I'm just going to repeat that same row until I have a total of 5 stitches remaining on the last corner of my dishcloth, and then I will meet you back here. I'll show you the last couple of decreased rows that are just a little bit different than this one that we've been working, and then we'll go ahead and apply our border. So I have 5 stitches remaining, so I am ready to work my last couple decrease rows. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. For the next row, I'm going to work a single crochet 2 together in the first 2 stitches, work a double crochet in the next stitch, and then another single crochet 2 together in the last 2 stitches. So we just changed up that repeat a little bit to accommodate for a fewer amount of stitches. Now for the very last row, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to just single crochet these 3 stitches together. So insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then do that 2 more times, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops, just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and work our border around the entirety of this dishcloth without finishing off our yarn or anything. The first thing I like to do is just kind of pull each edge a little bit to make it, all line up nice and neatly. You don't have to pull too hard or anything. It just kind of helps you better place the stitches if you know how the dishcloth already lays. So now I'm going to single crochet evenly across all 4 corners or 4 edges. In each corner, I'm going to place 3 single crochets. Now, it doesn't really matter how many stitches you place on each side of the dishcloth, as long as the dishcloth lays flat when you're done. It doesn't ripple, it doesn't pull in. If there's too few stitches, it'll pull in. If there's too many stitches, it'll kind of ripple out a little bit and the edge won't lay flat. So I'm just going to start single crocheting across the edge here. I'm placing about, let's see, 3 single crochets, for every 2 rows. So not quite 2 stitches per row, but definitely a little bit more than just 1 stitch per row. I've tried it with both, and it definitely, at least for me, pulls in a little bit if you only do 1 stitch per row. So I'm just single crocheting evenly across the edge of this dishcloth. And then, like I mentioned, once I get to the corner here in just a second, I'm going to place 3 single crochets into that. So here's my corner. I'm going to place 3 single crochets into that space to make that edge nice and rounded. And then I'm just going to repeat that on the rest of the edges. I'm going to single crochet all the way across, work 3 single crochets in the corner, and then I will just slip stitch to the very first single crochet and meet you back here to work round 2. Alrighty, so I finished crocheting all the way around my dishcloth, and as you can see, it already looks so much more clean and nice. It's laying nice and flat, exactly how I want it to look. I'm going to slip stitch to that very first single crochet that I did, and, well, if I can do it, that is. And then I'm going to chain 1 and work a single crochet in each stitch all the way around for our very last round. Now, just like before, I am going to work 3 single crochets again in each corner just to keep those nice and rounded, but that is the only increase we will do. So I'm just going to single crochet in each stitch around, placing 3 single crochets in the corners, and then I will meet you back here to finish off our dishcloth and weave in the ends. Okay, my second round is complete, and I have slip stitched to that very first stitch. Now I am just going to cut my yarn, pull through that final stitch just to finish it off nicely, and then I'm going to weave in this end. I have my yarn needle right here, so I'm just going to thread that yarn through, and I'm just going to go through a few of the stitches on the back side here, just like that. So just go through a few of those stitches on the wrong side to keep that end nice and secure. There we go. And then simply trim that end. Now the opposite end, I already wove in. I just went over it a few times with some of the stitches on the border. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that because it's already nice and secure. There's no need to weave it in anymore. And there we go. There is our finished dishcloth. I really hope that you enjoyed making this dishcloth along with me today. If you found this tutorial helpful and enjoyable to follow along with, and I also hope that you love your finished object, be sure that I have included all of the links to the materials that I used, the materials that you'll need, and all of the links to the pattern in the description box below, as well as links to my other social media platforms and pattern shops. So just be sure to check all of that out if you are so desire to do so. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any future tutorials, and then click that notification bell right beside it so that you get a little alert every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy making. Bye!